Arthur is in the house. Welcome to Yagaloo.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in Yagaloo.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty relaxed for once. Yeah, I was watching football.
Which game?
I watched Chelsea Stoke. It's a good game. Everton, Arsenal. And I watched the United game online as well. I had a little bit of a sort of football network going on in my flat. I had the laptop on. I had Sky Sports on. Can I talk about Sky Sports? Okay. Yeah. Jeff Stelling sat there. He's like a god to me because he reports on the football. It was great. It was a great little football weekend. Yeah, I like.
Big fan of football. Big fan. Yeah. So, but you are not here about talking, or not about talking the sports thing. You have your new single released, Get Down.
I do.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I do like Get Down. I actually prefer doing it acoustically, and I prefer doing it live with the band, because it's very much a studio song, you know. It's very much a studio song. It's got that Massive Attack feel. It's very hard to do that version live without the track. So I like it to stay in its entity as a track, you know, as opposed to the live version, which is more fun. You know, it's more fun to play for me.
Can you still remember when you wrote the song? What was it like? The atmosphere? What were you thinking about that time?
I guess I was just thinking about the things that keep me going. You know, there's things in life that keep you going, keep you being positive, and it might be like your family, or a loved one, or a hobby, or a passion. Get down. For me, it's these guys outside, the fans, that they show me so much support, and it lifts me up, it keeps me going. It keeps me doing what I love doing, and not losing faith in it. Yeah, it's an uplifting song. It really is.
Well, was it one of the early ones from your debut album?
It was. It was one of the ones that I wrote at the start of the album making process. Yeah, it was fun to do. It was fun. I was working with a guy called Wayne Hector, who's written loads and loads of hits. Most notably for me was Nicki Minaj, Starships. You know that song, Starships? Yeah, he did that, so I was excited to work with him, see what he came up with, and he had some great melody ideas, and it came out really cool. What
was it like producing or bringing out the debut album last year? Was it a struggle for you, or was it pretty easy going?
I've got to be careful with what I say about this, because before, I've said that I would like to have more control. The thing is not many artists that are signed to labels get full control, and that's kind of what I want. It's a little bit unrealistic at times, but I would love to have full control over everything, production, the writing, the singing, the melodies. And I didn't necessarily have that for the first album, but I'm not angry about it. I'm fine about it. Just the next record for me is the one. It's the one where I'll be, sat at the desk and making sure that it comes out the way that I want it to. Really live and authentic sounding. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I learned a lot. It was my first commercial album, I was very lucky to have such a good album. It could have been very, very diluted and very pop, but it wasn't. It was fairly real.
Are you already working on the new one?
Yeah, I've got ideas, constantly going around in my head. I'm working on the mixtape at the moment, though. Well, in fact, I finished the mixtape. The All the World's a Stage mixtape is kind of forefront of my brain at the moment. It's been like a project for me. I wrote it on tour in Europe. The whole thing was written in Europe and in the UK on tour, and that's going to come out later this month. So I'm kind of I'm still in that headspace, but I've started getting ideas for the second record, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a lot of it with my band, you know, just sort of jamming and getting some real live sounds on that.
I want to step back a little in time. So what was it like when you started making music? At what age and with what instrument was it? Was it the guitar or the piano?
I just picked up an acoustic guitar and started doing like Nirvana songs, and then I started trying to write my own songs, and yeah, it came pretty naturally to me. I must admit, it was pretty easy for me. I guess I have music in my blood, I guess, so it was really natural and really easy for me.
Where does it come from, the music in your blood?
My mum loves music. My mum was always playing records. My dad was always playing heavy metal music, and I loved that. I loved listening to Led Zeppelin. I loved listening to AC/DC and Thin Lizzy. And my dad would just play all of this great music, and then on the other side of the coin, my mum would play like Marvin Gaye and Michael Jackson and, you know, all that soul music, and I loved that too. So I guess I just soaked it all up and tried to regurgitate it in my own way. You know, I tried to express myself with all the influences that I had.
I'm working with a lot of newcomers here in Berlin, and they are at the point where they're still struggling if they're going to be a solo artist or in a band. Well, did you consider being in a band before, or have you played in a band? How many bands have you had?
Yeah, I've been in a lot of bands. I've been in about 4 or 5. One of which was really successful locally, where I'm from in Middlesbrough. They were called Save Arcade, and they, you know, we did like pop punk, rock and roll, grunge kind of stuff, and it was really fun. You know, I could have got somewhere with that band, but you know, it's so hard, man. It's so hard in the real world to get anywhere. You know, it's politics. You gotta know someone who knows someone. It's very difficult, and you know, it's difficult to get 5 guys putting everything they have into this project, you know, and I was the only real like waster, you know, the guy who had no other prospects other than music. So yeah, I love playing in bands. It's great to rock out, you know. It's great to play music live, you know, with your friends. And I've got that now. To be fair, I've got that with the band I've got now. I've got a really good band, all down to earth, you know. Real music lovers, you know, they all love D'Angelo and, you know, proper soul music, so it's great to be around them.
I don't know if you know, in Germany it's quite difficult if you are, or if you have been in a casting show like The X Factor or The Voice of Germany or DSDS, the German Idol. You got the stamp on your forehead, and it's pretty hard after the first album to go on with the music. What would you think? Why is it different in the UK? Is it that different that you have not to struggle after being in a casting show?
No, I don't think it is that different. I mean, I've certainly struggled because of coming from a talent show. Yes, I've reached a lot of people with the song Impossible because I think it's such a great song. But I've definitely, well, in England anyway. I mean, in Europe, you know, obviously people like you still want to talk to me, but in the
Of course.
in the UK, it's difficult. You know, they like to build you up and then tear you down pretty quick. So I think that's because of, you know, coming from a talent show. I'll never, in my country anyway, I'll never quite get the accolades that maybe one day I'll be due.
But it was good decision for you to run the X Factor after The Voice.
Absolutely. The X Factor, don't get me wrong, the X Factor has changed my life. Obviously it takes, some hard work from me to win a show like the X Factor, but if there wasn't that platform there, then I certainly wouldn't be here. Definitely not.
I'm curious, how many love letters do you get in a month?
How many love letters do I get?
A lot?
I don't know. I actually don't get letters to me direct. They go to my management, and when I get a chance, I read them. I don't know how many there is. I know I get a lot of Twitter marriage proposals and things like that.
Are you taking care of your Twitter account personally, or is it just the team behind you?
No, I'm taking care of it. There was a team, but I prefer to be accessible, to the people that there's people that dedicate their lives to supporting me, which is quite fanatical, but I respect that that's their journey, and I just want to give them everything that I can. So I feel that Twitter is the most direct way to do that.
When it comes to live shows, what is your recipe to entertain the people?
When it comes to live shows, do you know what? I don't want to sound too egotistical or too big-headed, but our live show I think, could be one of the best in Europe. It's just so raw. I have some amazing musicians in my band. My drummer's incredible. My guitarist's incredible. My backing singers. I haven't seen a lot of soul rock and roll shows over the years that make me feel the way ours does. Ours is real good. It's real good.
What was the latest show that you have seen?
I've seen Macklemore, which was epic. It was epic, man. That was at an academy, and that was probably one of their more dulled down shows. I'm sure in the future it's going to get bigger and bigger for them. They're crazy good. Yeah, that was a great show.
What is your next goal then? The next album being #1 in the charts? Or?
I'd love that. But to be a #1 in the charts, it's not necessarily having the best music. It's how it's marketed and how it's put out there to the people, and how much work you put in to promoting it. So to be honest, chart positions are great, but I just want to make music that I'm genuinely proud of, and music that I'll look back on in 10 years and say that was really fucking good for how old I was, or for what I was going through at the time. Yeah, just want to be proud. Just want to be proud of it.
Hopefully you can make us proud here on our little stage here at the Yagaloo TV studio.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to try.
Thank you so much for coming over. Und ihr da draußen seht jetzt natürlich dann mindestens einen Song, vielleicht auch 2 von James Arthur. Und das nehmen wir jetzt auf. Bis dann.